Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2020. Paul Brees coming to us from Brentwood, Tennessee. Adam Freeman here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're excited to bring you another episode of Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. We encourage you guys to follow us on Twitter at DThruSports. That's DTHRU Sports. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. And check out all of our episodes on the different platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify. And Brees, we had another interesting day, another full day at Harrison High School as things continue to change every day. I did actually get to tap into some new technology that is in my classroom that no one will get to enjoy until we have students face-to-face. I have probably the largest TV screen I've ever seen. It's probably like a 70-inch TV on the wall that's integrated into my laptop through a docking station. It's touchscreen. It has a audio interface with it. So got to use that for some of our professional learning today. So just getting used to how to work it and how to use it. I'm sure I'll at some point integrate it into sort of what we're doing or what I'm doing here. And so we'll just have to see. And then for those times when maybe I'm at home, I can switch things up a little bit.
You mean you're not at school right now?
I am not at school right now, but I fooled you initially. You were worried about me. You were like, dude, this guy's putting in 12-hour days, man. He's going hardcore. He's going hardcore. Look at that background. Yeah. So what I did was, it's kind of the general consensus is that you can do a hybrid once everything starts on August 17th for us. You could do a hybrid type of instruction where you can come in and do it, or if you need to be at home, like a lot of people have young children and they have to teach them as well, they can do it from home. But the idea is to maintain, be professional. So I won't be wearing a Dodger t-shirt or a Dodger hat. I'll obviously be, wearing a collared shirt, etc., and being professional. But they said to be consistent with the background. So in an effort to be consistent, I took a picture of all the contents behind my desk, and that's what everyone will be seeing. Tonight, however, that is not what's happening, because basically, if you want to jump into our first hot take, you got something for us.
I'm ready to go, man.
All right. So last night, I'm staying up late. I'm watching the Dodgers Astros because they basically stole the 2017 World Series from us. And it was highly anticipated. Or, is somebody going to get the Dodgers going to throw at them, or what's going to happen? So it gets to be like the 8th inning, and they bring in Joe Kelly, who, won a title with Boston in 2018, pitched against the Dodgers in that World Series. Dodgers picked him up last year. And so he can't find the strike zone with nobody on base. I think he gets like 2 outs, walks a guy, then he drills Bregman in the ribs, and then he throws one over Correa's head. And then after that, he strikes him out on a breaking ball. And as he is walking away, apparently, now this is what's going to be interesting with these ballparks with no fans. It's just like being at a high school baseball game. You can hear everything that's being said in the dugout. So the Astros are over there chirping, after he hits Bregman. So they're chirping. So he strikes out Correa, and so he has a little facial gesture towards Correa. Bench is clear. It's a whole big thing. Joe Kelly gets an 8-game suspension for this. Okay? Now, He's obviously appealing this, but he's a huge part of their bullpen. That's almost 1/6 of the season that he's suspended for.
And I got to stop you because Joe Kelly hit 0 batters, by the way. 0 batters. Didn't hit one Astro. Threw behind Bregman.
Behind him. Okay.
So almost took out Correa a couple of times. But hit 0 batters, got 8 games. Guess what the penalty for the Astros for cheating was?
What, like?
0 games.
0 games. Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
MLB, what are you doing?
You lose 2 draft picks. Our guy maybe throws it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he had no control last night of anything he was throwing. So I don't know. And, he said he wasn't trying to hit the guy.
I don't care.
Obviously.
Listen, I don't care if you were or were not. I appreciate Joe Kelly. Thank you.
I do too.
Listen,
he's top
you were not
of
on
list
that
right
2017 now. Team. You had no vested interest in it, but you know a cheater when you see it. You know that the Astros broke the spirit of the game. Go ahead. Don't aim for the head, but plunk them somewhere.
Yeah, and he's not. I mean, he's not gonna back down from anybody. He's not scared. He's gonna throw. He's got just as much right to the inside part of the plate or to throw the ball wherever he wants to, like you said, as long as he's not trying to hurt somebody and throw it at his head. Now, this could hurt the Dodgers. He's their setup guy.
Yeah.
Out of the bullpen, like late inning, 6th, 7th inning, and the way that things are going right now, starters aren't throwing 5 innings. The Dodgers they're already into their bullpens in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
Astros, same thing. I mean, I think they just threw out a stat that said through 130 something starts so far, only 45 pitchers have gone 5 innings. Only 45 starters have gone 5 innings. And, I mean, that's way down. I mean, small sample size, but still, that's way down. And so bullpens are getting worked. I think it's a result of the longer bench. You got more guys in the bullpen. So the starters are not being called on, to eat up that many innings. So this takes him out of the rotation, and for at least the next 2 series. So, I mean, this could be a big deal. Now he's going to appeal it. I mean, I don't even know that he should get anything.
No.
I mean, it's ridiculous. 8 games, it's ridiculous.
That's where Major League better make it right. Listen, I know you're trying to break down the X's and O's of the game and how listen, Joe Kelly, this is not his first rodeo.
No.
And taking a shot at somebody. Hey, the big brawl when he was with the Red Sox, when against the Yankees against Tyler Austin. I mean, Joe Kelly, 6'1", 180.
I know. He's not a big guy.
This guy.
He's my size. He's smaller than me.
Hey, I salute you, Joe Kelly, my man. I didn't know you before last night. I do now, and I like it. I'm on Team Kelly.
Team Kelly. Me too, man. I'm behind him. I'm behind him all the way. I totally agree with what he did. Totally agree with it. Now, staying in baseball before we switch things up here. And I didn't think this was possible. And we're having another issue here. And this would only happen, okay? This would only happen because I mentioned the whole snafu yesterday with what went on in our meeting. That's the only reason why this has happened.
Yeah.
And it's happened 2 nights in a row. All right, so now we're back on track here. All right, so I was under the impression that if you opted out of the season, you're out. You can't opt back in. Nick Markakis is opting back in to the Braves season after 5 games. I don't understand. Is there a rule? Is there not a rule? Are we enforcing it? Are we not enforcing it? Can anybody come back whenever they want? I didn't think this was possible, and he just announces that he's back in. I don't get it.
Well,
I don't get it.
According to sources, Nick Markakis was sitting at home, and the pit of his stomach was just empty, seeing these guys sacrifice and busting their tail and risking their lives and he just couldn't sit there at home playing his little Xbox and PS4 with a clear conscience. Nick Markakis, what are you doing? Listen, there's no takebacks, buddy. You're in or you're out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a waffler, man. He's a waffler, and I always kind of like the guy because he's a professional hitter. He's always going to hit around 300. Plays good defense. He's a contact guy. Doesn't strike out a lot. He's valuable in that lineup. And when he opted out, I thought, okay, this is not good. And now he's back, so that strengthens their bench.
Well,
however,
listen. He probably is looking at the NL East right now, and he's thinking, "Oh, wait a minute, the Nationals are 1-4. They were supposed to be the team, other than in the East. The Marlins are a wash. They can't even finish the season.
No.
The Phillies are going to have to play double headers, and the Mets are probably going to, just decline as the season goes on. Hey, maybe I got a chance to maybe win a ring. I don't know." But I don't want to be left out if there is a chance.
Well, here's the thing. He opts back in. It's not going to matter at all if they can't get some pitching. Because they got two pitchers right now, Max Fried and Mike Soroka, who are in their second year. The rest of that pitching staff, you had a guy that they were counting on in Sanchez, Anibal Sanchez, who opted out. You got Fultonevich, who was an all-star 2 years ago. They just demoted him after he got shelled. Okay, so they got two guys, and that's all they got. And you can't win a division now. Here, the only thing that may help them is the fact that there's going to be 8 teams from the National League and 8 teams from the American League in the playoffs. So you don't even have to win the division. You don't even have to come in first or second. You can be the 7th or 8th best team out of 16 in your league, and you can play, and you can make the playoffs. So, and let's say that you're the Dodgers, who everybody is picking the Dodgers in the National League. Let's say you go 38-22 and you win the West for the 8th straight time. Now you have a 3-game series, a short 3-game series against the 8th seed. Well, if that 8th seed is hot and one of your two guys, either Kershaw or Buehler, whoever starts game one, has one bad game, you're in trouble. And you're the best team in baseball. So, it's going to be interesting. If this season plays out, it may be the most exciting season we've seen in a long, long time.
Right. So I'm getting a call. Hold on. Buster Olney. What? The Braves just re-signed R.A. Dickey? You got it. Thanks, Buster.
Did they really?
No.
R.A. Dickey, the nutter.
Nashville guy. Love me some R.A. Dickey.
Oh, he's a Tennessee guy. That's why.
Yeah.
University of Tennessee guy.
Yeah, he went to Montgomery Bell.
Yeah.
NBA. So, yeah, we love him in Nashville. Good guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's hit the next one because I've got my opinions.
Oh, here we go. I want you to lead this one off. Notre Dame has gotten bailed out by the ACC. Go for it, Paul.
What is the ACC thinking?
Listen, I told you this. I told you this was going to happen.
You called it.
Did I not tell you this was going to happen?
Bailed out again, as you called Notre Dame with waving the white flag because they had no one left to play.
Nope.
And they were, I'm sure, pleading at an ACC commissioner saying, help us. What are we going to do? We can't play Navy and Air Force and Army. We'll never get in the college football playoff. What can you do to help us? I tell you what they did. They probably brought a little money to the table, and they probably said, we'll put all our games on Notre Dame TV. We'll split up the TV revenue somehow. They brought some money to the table to help make this decision a little bit easier for the ACC, a little bit easier for those teams that are losing money. Hey, I hope that they get rolled.
Oh, absolutely. I hope that Clemson just boat races them. I hope North Carolina boat races them. I hope Louisville takes them behind the woodshed. I hope they go 5-5.
Perfect.
4-6 would be great.
I'll take 2-8, but whatever.
2-8 would be excellent.
Not bowl eligible. Brian Kelly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: you talked about the money issue. I guarantee that they not only offered up some money, but they may have gone above and beyond and said, "Hey, look, it may have been such a great deal that the ACC could not have passed it up." Okay, because I just feel like that's kind of the direction that it went. Of course, we can only speculate as to what went on behind closed doors.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there was money thrown around, TV rights thrown around, exposure thrown around, and I would imagine that the ACC had all the cards, so they could have asked for a king's ransom and gotten it from Notre Dame. Because you're right, Notre Dame was in a corner, had nowhere to go, and I guess because of their alliance or their affiliation during basketball and basically every other sport with the ACC was like, okay, I see that, but we're going to need this, and we're going to need this, and we want this piece of the pie. So I can definitely see that playing out, in that meeting. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting. That would have been great.
Well,
I'd love to know the other details of the deal.
Yeah, here's my final question. After the season plays out here, does ACC extend the olive branch and say, all right, Notre Dame, you're going to have to join us in football. This is it. Or does Notre Dame go back and play as an independent, thinking that is the easiest route to get into the college football
That's exactly. This is a 1-year deal. That's exactly what they're going to do, because they're cowards. That's exactly what they're going to do. They can't. If they listen, Paul, you and I both know, if they played an SEC schedule, they're 5-3 at best.
Yeah.
They're 5-3 at best, and then they're going to play your Navy and your Air Force. They'll play your service academies, and then they'll throw in a USC who's way down, for their other out of conference game. So they might be 9-3, 8-4. But that's what they would be in the SEC. Now they might, because the ACC is not the SEC in football. They may have a little bit better shot at competing and placing a little bit higher in the ACC. I mean, we look at the ACC. Clemson's a top dog. Miami is a dumpster fire. Louisville is not that good. Carolina's better. Yeah. NC State's better. Wake Forest is better. Duke is better. So, you look at some of those other programs that are up and coming in the ACC, and, it's not, you just don't just have Clemson is untouchable, and then there's everybody else, and they're all about the same. I don't feel like there's a huge discrepancy, with the exception of Miami is just not very good. Florida State is way down, so it's not like the Clemson, Florida State are at the top above everybody. It's just Clemson at this point. So, but yeah, and sticking with this sort of college football feel that we've got going here tonight. Really excited about this next topic. Yesterday, Netflix dropped the 4th season of Last Chance U, which you and I are both fifth season. Okay, fifth season.
Two in Mississippi, 2 in Lawrence, Kansas, or not Lawrence, Kansas.
2 in Indy, right?
Indy, yeah. And this is 5.
All right, so 5th season dropped yesterday, and it is Laney College out in Oakland, California. You and I big fans of Last Chance U, but we had kind of soured on Last Chance U because of last season's. It was just too vulgar for me. It was the coach was super abusive, and was not a good human being. I think we can agree on that. In fact, In fact, the reason why there's not a season 5 in Indy is I think because he got fired, and I think he was being sued. Or was
Coach Jason Brown.
Got some trouble.
He was definitely a draw, but he played his college football in Compton.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, but yeah, you're right. He got let go because of some verbal language to a certain German student manager. Called him something probably shouldn't have. Hey, but let's jump on Laney College. And listen, as we started out, a lot of this story is about when you get on Last Chance U is the campuses. All right, we saw in Scuba, Mississippi, not a great scenario.
Very rural.
Kansas,
very
not
rural.
Not a great situation for student. Laney College, no on-campus living. Zero. Zilch.
Yeah. At least at those other 2 places, you're on campus. You're in dorms. You're in university housing. These guys are coming from 2 hours away.
Yep.
Their starting quarterback is sleeping in his car. I mean, you talk about. I mean, they are the epitome of Last Chance U. You got a defense or offensive lineman who's got 3 kids, and his wife's working, and he's playing football because he can't have a job because he's playing football and going to school, and it's bizarre. And what's interesting is the coach. I find him fascinating.
Yeah, the Godfather of Oakland.
The Godfather of Oakland. And tell me this: does he not look like Dennis Eckersley? Look at him. He's the Eck, man.
Yeah.
He could be the Eck. I imagine. Except for the fact that he's super popular in Oakland and everybody knows who he is.
I mean, this guy threw out the first pitch at an Oakland A's baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, if he was anywhere else, if he went anywhere else in the nation, people would, if he walked into Dodger Stadium, people might think he was Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has that look.
Yeah, Dennis Eckersley. That's the good one too. Here's the thing about this season, which possibly could be the last season of Last Chance U, is that the previous 4 seasons they focused on some big name D1 guys that had to go and play JUCO to get kind of their life or their game straightened out. At Laney College, we don't see that big time recruit except for
Rashawn Wright.
Yeah, Ray Wright.
The defensive back, yeah.
Whose brother is at Oregon State.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but I do know where he ends up.
Well, don't reveal. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Haven't seen it yet. But
no spoiler alerts.
But that is interesting that you bring that up. I mean, in Last Chance U, you had James Franklin III, quarterback who ended up at Auburn,
right.
From Florida State, went there, then back at Auburn. And then you had the kid
Malik
Henry, I think, who ended up at Utah.
I went to Nevada.
Nevada, excuse me. Yeah, it's Nevada. So, yeah, you don't see those guys. So you're wondering, like, what? And I think it's more of a focus on the community.
Correct.
And the impact that college has in that community.
Right.
And the fact that the people that go to school there can't even afford to live in that neighborhood.
Correct.
Because it's so expensive.
That's right.
Which is just, it's mind-blowing. And the fact that the struggles of this team, to me, far outweigh the struggles of any of the players in the previous 4 seasons. Because all those kids had to do, I mean, they were getting meals on campus. They had, dormitories right there.
Yeah.
So to me, it's night and day. Like you can't even compare this season with those guys. Those guys, that was like Cupcake City.
Yeah.
Compared to what's going on here.
The cameras could follow those guys around back to their dorm and see some of the things that were probably not a wholesome environment. Here at Laney, we don't see them smoking weed, drinking illegally, stealing. I mean, that's something that is not being portrayed here. And John Beam is, I mean, he's the guy that's, keeps it all together. And 99% of these guys, would take a bullet for him. I mean,
yeah,
they run through a
don't.
brick wall.
Yeah, and that's the big difference between him and the other two guys is they're not. He's not just about winning. Now he wants to win more than anybody else, but he understands there's a bigger goal here, for these guys, and he cares about them as individuals, and it shows in the show, which makes this show, season 5, much better.
Yeah.
It makes it much more watchable for me anyway. I mean, yes, does he get a little heated when people mess up? Every football coach does. So you're going to see that. But
I mean, this guy's old school.
Yeah, big time. He's been coaching 40 years.
And he talks about how he's having to translate and relating to kids now, and making his style a little bit different. But let me ask you this, Adam.
Yeah.
You feel like the skill level, let's say Laney College plays East Mississippi or Indy. To me, I don't think Laney College or JUCO in California is not very great. I don't.
No, I think they get beat. They get beat, and they get beat bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, these teams that they're playing that they lost to are not very good.
No.
If they play East Mississippi, that's why I said they're coming off. They keep saying they're coming off a 2018 national championship. They're coming off a California JUCO League championship is what they're coming off of. These guys can't compete at the national. I just don't see it as a national level program. I don't know how it works in California, but it just seems to me like, I mean, they lost to two. Modesto maybe was okay, but the second game, they should have lost that team. They were terrible.
And the quarterback situation is horrendous there. Even if none of those guys get hurt, I still don't think their quarterback situation is very good.
No. I mean, you got to – I mean, they're down to their fourth-string guy, and even he's hurt. And I think you probably see the fifth-string guy, emergency guy, RJ, take some snaps eventually at some point. I haven't gotten there yet in the series.
All right, I won't tell you what happens.
But, all right, good. Keep your mouth shut.
Here we go. National Chicken.
Here we go. Now, this is something that just popped up today, National Chicken Wing Day. Reese, you a fan?
I'm always a fan of food. I'm a fan of chicken wings.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. I'm not a chicken wing guy. I'm not. It's too much work for me.
It is a lot of work. You're right.
It's too much work, and it's too messy. Okay. That's just me. However, if I'm gonna eat chicken wings, I'm not one of these guys that's got to have the super hot nuclear, whatever. Just give me some medium wings. I'm fine. And some ranch dressing. Give me 6, 8. I know some football players on our teams, our offensive linemen. They used to go on Wednesday nights. The whole offensive line and our offensive line coaches would go, and it was 10-cent wing night. And these guys would have a pile of bones in the middle of it looked like Fred Flintstone's, trash can. I mean, at the end of the week. I mean, it's just a pile of bones. They'd take pictures of it and everything. These guys were putting down, 400 wings at a sitting between the 8 or 10 of them, each eating 30 or 40 of these things. And, it just doesn't appeal to me. Too much work. And I'm not a big wing fan, but National Chicken Wing Day, what's the most, I guess, unique flavored wing you've ever had?
There's some Parmesan, garlic, something.
From a specific place or just in general?
It was called Wingstop, but
Wingstop. Yeah.
It was in Cool Springs. But in my opinion, there are two things I can say about chicken wings. Buffalo Wild Wings, overrated. Number two, the most I've ever had in one sitting, I went out with a fellow teacher for lunch during a professional development day. He's a former offensive lineman at Vanderbilt. He's a big guy. So obviously he's looking for an all-you-can-eat kind of place.
Yes.
So we found a wing place that had a buffet. So I had 23 at one sitting.
And that was enough for you. That was enough. That's a
I'll
lot.
Never do that again.
That's a lot of chicken wings now.
But you try to keep up with a SEC Division I athletes such as my friend Matt, and it didn't pay off. Off.
How many did he have?
He had almost 30. I was close. I was almost reeling him in, and then he took it up.
A lot. I'm going to guess that those afternoon professional learning sessions were not that advantageous. There was not a lot accomplished in those afternoon sessions.
There was a lot of food coma in the back room, part of the room.
The food coma. Yeah, that will happen. That will have to happen. Now today we actually here's how the first 2 days we would do lunch on our own. And today we were actually provided lunch by the PTSA, which does a great job for us. We have one of the best PTSAs around. They always take care of us. So they provided us with Chick-fil-A for lunch.
All right.
And everything was individually bagged. And check this out. Check this out. We have a new administrator. It's his first year here. He delivered them to our rooms for us. So we had it delivered. I mean, like he's like walking in with a cart and he's like, "Hey, what do you want, nuggets or a chicken sandwich?" I was like, "Count me in for a chicken sandwich."
You should have said both.
Well, hold on now. This was about 11:45. So about 1:00, we get an email. Hey, got some extra in the workroom. Of course, I got to take advantage of that. So about 2:00, I was having another chicken sandwich.
There you go.
So it was great, and so it's people understand it doesn't take a whole lot to placate a teacher. A free meal every now and then is huge. We listen. I appreciate that more than just about anything you could throw at me today. You could have been like, "Hey, you know what? We're going to give you a raise." Okay, great. Hey, we're going to bring free Chick-fil-A for lunch. Ooh, I get excited about that because I know that the raise, you know what happens to that? That's already spent, okay? That's good. It's not going to get spent on me. It's going to be spent on a bill or, paying a mortgage or, something like that, car payment or something like that. The free lunches are huge. They're
in the
huge.
teacher game, in the teacher world, it is like setting a piece of cheese out in the teacher's lounge, or the Pied Piper is coming.
Oh yeah. Anytime there's food, is there food in the mail room, dude? Or say somebody's providing lunch. Well, I have D lunch. We have ABC D lunch, dude. By the time D lunch rolls around, I'm out of luck, dude, because that stuff has been just ransacked. And there's no holds barred when it comes to free food in the teacher's lounge during lunch, even because it's announced ahead of time. All right. Now, you mentioned this last time. This is our human interest. We had a couple of human interest stories tonight with the National Chicken Wing Day, but this one is interesting. I've given it a lot of thought. What is the most likely future pro sports town as far as like expansion? For me, I immediately was thinking baseball. Okay. I was thinking
the prerequisite of this whole thing, Adam, is they do not have a sports team franchise at all.
Currently, they have no right.
And I have nothing. A feeling that you're about to take mine.
I don't know. This one's a little bit of a stretch, I think, but it's got roots. And that's where I'm going to build it.
100% you're about to take it.
Okay.
Now I'm going to have to go into scramble mode.
No, I guarantee I'm not going to take it, but you're getting me worried. So I'm going to throw it to you, but I guarantee it. You're not going to guess this one. You're not going to guess it.
Hey, let's say it at the same time.
Okay. On three. One, 2, 3, then say it. Okay.
How about 3, 2, 1?
All right. 3, 2, 1, then say. All right.
Okay, ready?
3, 3, 2, 1. Omaha.
Omaha.
What?
I knew it.
Why did you know that? How did you know I was going to say Omaha?
You mentioned it the other night about the
Ah.
Toronto Blue Jays. Hey, all I know is this hot take won't take 30 seconds now.
Oh.
Omaha.
Man.
That's right. We both did it.
We both are in agreement. I think all we need to do now is form an ownership group,
Sure.
get a publicity push.
Peyton Manning.
Listen.
Peyton Manning is one of the owners. He loves Omaha.
Yeah, it's obvious, right?
Remember? The check down.
Yeah, the check down. But
Omaha.
I'm thinking, look, you build on to Rosenblatt Stadium. You've already got the College World Series. It draws hundreds of thousands of 100,000 plus people every year for the College World Series. People in that area love baseball, and there's nothing around. And Omaha is a decent sized city, and I think they're dying for anything, and I think they could support a Major League Baseball team. I think you got to go baseball if you're going to go Omaha. What do you think?
Listen, I wouldn't have said it if I didn't think it, buddy.
Okay, all right.
I think you're
I'm
right.
just making sure we're not only picking the same city, but we're also going with the same franchise. We're still going with Major League Baseball.
The only other place that would, and it's kind of a cheating game, would be Austin, Texas. But there's so much already around it that it doesn't really count, in my opinion. But Omaha, being out there in no man's land, you gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's almost like it's an abyss of sports.
Yes.
I mean, you got Nebraska, but that's in Lincoln.
Correct.
And Omaha is the capital, and it's already got that. It's got that rich baseball tradition already built into it. So it was obvious. It was obvious for me, and you've got I don't even know. I don't even know what would be my number two. I can't even think of a number two, really.
Yeah.
I mean, because Nashville's got the Predators and the Titans. Knoxville's not big enough. Nor does it have the infrastructure. Plus, everybody's there is Tennessee. To the day they die. Miami's got it. Tampa Bay's got it. Jacksonville. I just don't. Unless you want to go, and I don't know that you want to go anywhere in Alabama. Like a Birmingham or somewhere. You'd have to go Birmingham. I don't know if you want to do that because they can't even fill a minor league stadium. And pro football failed there, so is the USFL. But I think Omaha's the answer. I really do. And I think you could actually have success there. Now, I do see Major League Baseball heading back to Canada and heading back to Montreal. If they expand to 32 teams, I think one of them is definitely Montreal. And we've talked about this before. And one of them is probably going to be, it could be Nashville. But see, those are markets that already have been established with pro franchises. So, Omaha is your deal. And I think it's just funny that we both said it and agreed to it. All right. So tomorrow I will have tomorrow I may be cutting it close tomorrow night because I have a 4:00 tea time. 4:00 tea time tomorrow. Playing out at Woodland Hills. Going to try to get it done this week. Going to try to break 90. Going to try to do it. Playing with 8 guys. We got 2 groups going. One at 3:30, one at 4. So hopefully, if we're playing fast, that means we're playing good. So Hopefully we can do that. But until we meet again and bring you another episode, encourage everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Follow us on Twitter at D3Sports, and listen to all of our different platforms, all of our episodes on the different platforms through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify. For Paul Brees, I am Adam Freeman. You've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.